There's a serious question I have about a fictional scenario. What would happen if you put up the SCP-682, or the unkillable or hard-to-destroy reptile, against the MCU? The entirety of the MCU. The reason why I use SCP-682 is because, number one, he's my favorite SCP, and number two, you literally cannot kill this thing. It adapts with everything you throw at it. I've heard that they've tried throwing other SCPs at this specific SCP, and even though he was rot and rended, he always put himself back together and adapted. This guy is basically One Punch Man. If you send him through a dimension that nothing can come back from, he will figure out a way to come back. If you have an SCP item that writes a story and makes whatever it writes a reality, for example, if it writes that SCP-682 will have never existed, that won't happen. He will find a way to come. It's just so freaking stupid. And as they said in the SCP community, it's a running gag. When people in the community posed situations and other SCP items they could use to kill it, other seemingly more experienced fans said that these people trying to find a way or come up with solutions as to how to kill the hard-to-destroy reptile are simply looking at this the wrong way, because 682 exists to troll the Foundation and nothing else. When another person asked, so essentially SCP-682 has god-tier plot armor? Another person replied by saying yes, because that's what 682's story is about. It's about how to deal with an impossible challenge. Having a way it could die exist would defeat the purpose of the exercise. And therein lies the other question. Could One Punch Man destroy 682? I think we already know the freaking answer. But to be fair, there are god-tier creatures and monsters and heroes and villains in the MCU as well. First of all, putting this thing up against the MCU is probably a really bad idea, because for some reason, and you could shoot me for this, whatever, it seems as though the characters from the MCU are so nerfed in comparison to their comic book counterparts. 682 is a living, breathing, or sort of living epitome of plot armor. Only he invents his own plot armor. So even if you threw the entire hosts of the MCU at it, I think it's one of the worst examples to use against SCP-682. So, then why did you propose this theory? Simply put, because I've seen other people asking this question and a whole bunch of other people submitting their answers, and since I also am interested in this community, I consider myself a part of it, even though I'm a noob, I still have so much to learn, I wanted to put my own 2 cents out there. You can't kill this thing. You can rip it to shreds, you can damage its body, but it always comes back like a freaking Terminator. And mind you, you can kill the Terminator. You can't kill this thing. Now, people have said that Scarlet Witch is the most powerful character in the MCU. As a matter of fact, I think Kevin Feige himself said that. She can warp reality. And I think that people only agree because she was one of the most powerful characters in the comics. But there's one person who proved to be smarter and stronger, at least in the moment. Thanos. But not Thanos. The Infinity Stones all used together. And therein lies the question. If you were to use all of the Infinity Stones and you had the prowess and expertise to know exactly how to use it to kill SCP-682, would it then die for good? You can say that you can ban it to another existence, but it would still be alive. That then would be a case of how to get rid of it, not how to kill it. The thing you need to understand about 682 is that as long as it is actually alive, it will come back in some way, shape, or form just to prove to you that you didn't kill it. Even if you send it to some other reality, someplace far away, some alternate universe, it can stay there. But no. This is an intelligent creature we're talking about. It will come back just to prove to you and throw in your face that you didn't kill it. It will be sitting on your couch by the time you go back home after sending it away. 1 hour later, you go home, you think it's done, it's on your couch, eating your potato chips, waiting to rip you from limb to limb. But it will bask in the ambience of your despair, of your failure to kill it. Not only that, but 682's adaptability is so off the charts that every way that you possibly could come up with to kill it, it will adapt in such a way that you can never use that specific way again. If you try to kill it with knives, it will exist to be impermeable to knives. If you try to kill it with fire, it will put itself back together, and it will no longer be susceptible to fire. Special containment procedures of this creature are as follows. SCP-682 must be destroyed as soon as possible. At this time, though, no means available to SCP teams are capable of destroying SCP-682, only able to cause massive physical damage. His containment chamber must be filled with hydrochloric acid until SCP-682 is submerged and incapacitated. Now, the one thing I don't understand about this creature is if they've been using acid to keep him in, and I'm just assuming that this is something they use all the time. Maybe it's possible that they don't use it all the time. But based on the fact that this is the special containment procedure for 682, I'm guessing this is how they keep it contained. If it adapts so quickly to be able to have immunity from every other way you try to kill it, why has it not found a way to not be affected by acid? Is it because it understands that people aren't trying to kill it, or it's just trying to troll them? We know that it has this heightened adaptability and it regenerates like crazy. Here's an example. When the Foundation was exploring their options with experiments in trying to kill SCP-682 or see what they could do to subdue it, they attempted to use SCP-409 on our hard-to-destroy reptile. SCP-409 resembles a large quartz crystal. It's about 5 feet tall and 2 feet wide. Any objects that come into contact with SCP-409 will begin to crystallize after 3 hours. This effect will occur in any material other than granite. This is just one of the many SCPs they tried to use on 682, so they exposed 682 to this crystal thing. This is what the experiment states. 682 began to tear at the point of contact, causing massive trauma to the area. 682 requests several times to know what it has been exposed to. Crystallization begins, spreading much slower than normal. 682 shows signs of extreme pain and begins to have seizures, poor thing. Crystallization stops at 62% conversion. Crystallized area explodes, causing massive physical trauma to SCP-682, or the unkillable reptile. The reptile recovers from exposure, despite the loss of limbs and organs. SCP-682 begins regeneration, stating that it will attempt to kill and consume all staff involved in the event. Oh shit. Later on, they noted that 682 appears to now be immune to SCP-409. Use of other SCP items to terminate 682 must now first be tested on samples of 682 before full-scale testing. So anything that you use to try and kill it, it just becomes immune to that specific thing. So maybe that's why the acid is one of those things that it just doesn't need to be immune to because it likes it or something. Who the frick knows? If you use unlimited strength with the Power Stone, yes, you would be able to rip the limbs off of SCP-682, but then you would not be able to use it on him again. But what about that infamous snap that Thanos did to literally snap things out of existence? You could use that as though the 682 never existed. Nope, that doesn't work. Because remember, there's also an SCP book that is written, or the friendly thing that can write reality. Whatever it writes has to come true, and they tried doing that to kill 682, and yeah, that didn't work. So chances are, that little snappy-doo-dah, that won't work either. Without the plot armor, it should though. But then again, I mean, if the Marvel Avengers could get by with supposedly undoing what Thanos did, then I'm pretty sure SCP-682 would find that a walk in the park. Or maybe just a breath in the room, because it's far easier. Now you want to know what is creepy, guys? I know this is shocking, but there is a way to kill SCP-682. Oh yes sirree, there is. And you know how I know? Because there is another SCP, an SCP called 2935. It's a space-time anomaly existing within a limestone cave beneath a cemetery near Joppa, Indiana. This anomaly is nearly an exact replicate reality of modern Earth in the year 2016, with the primary exception being that all life, including both biological and non-biological, as well as any sentient entities, machines, computers, and other lifelike phenomena within SCP-2935, ended on April 20th, 2006. And you know what they found there, you guys? Do you know what they found when they went inside of this anomaly? When they went back to the containment cells in that universe for the SCPs, and they checked up on SCP-682's chamber, they found the corpse of SCP-682 visible within the chamber, displaying no signs of life. Dead. As one of the guys said, that's impossible. That's fucking impossible. There's no way. Another team member comes along to confirm that it in fact is dead. So there is a way to kill it, and I have yet to understand what exactly is it about SCP-2935 that killed all life. It's freaking creepy. And the mystery of it is what makes it even more terrifying. But yeah, that's where the real question should be directed. The MCU versus 682 is nothing. he would obliterate them. He would continue to adapt and absorb them and absorb all of their powers and then use all of that against them. Either that or they just would not be able to kill him no matter what they did. Now the comic book versions, that's a different thing. I think there might be some chance there that they could get very close. But we're talking about the MCU. Anyways, let's hear your thoughts, guys. What do you think would happen if the unkillable reptile, the hard to destroy reptile, were to go up against all the hosts of the MCU? All using their powers in tandem, barely obliterating 682 to a pulp, to an unrecognizable pool of liquid that would then fasten itself back together, stronger than ever before. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Ultiori. You ask, we answer.